So the next FGO event should be dropping on Thursday, as over on the JP version of the game, as soon as Sea Monsters Crisis ended, the Learning with Manga collaboration event began, and I know a lot of people aren't super excited about this one because Super Bunyan isn't the most hype release ever, but do not let that mislead you. This event in and of itself is very, very strong. The main gimmick is that you're going to be getting these excavation points to then excavate either with like a hammer, a shovel, or a pickaxe. You could think of them as 3 different lotto boxes or mini lotto boxes, kind of like what we had last summer, how we had the different treasure chests. And you can reset these as much as you want, so it's kind of a mini lotto event. It's a really, really strong event that also brings a new free-to-play servant, technically, in Mary Anning for the Friend Point Gacha, which is also really good for getting all of those Mary Anning coins, kind of like Nobukatsu, so you can exchange those for the Grail casting. So you've just got a lot of good stuff going on in this event. Do not let the raid up mislead you into thinking it's a bad event, but I'm going to tell you everything you need to know about this event in this video, so make sure you leave a like if you like being informed, make sure you subscribe if you want to stay informed, and also leave your thoughts in the comments down below and if you're excited for this event, but only after I've gone ahead and told you everything that is going to be going on with this event. So let's start off first by talking about some of the event bonus servants, the main servants that you want to be bringing if you are more on the free-to-play side. You want to take advantage of this event power mod bonus, or you just want to bond bonus some of these guys up because maybe you're a huge fan of Astolfo, you just pulled for him the other day, and now you can get that bond up. Or maybe you're like me and you really like the boy Sigurd, and you're trying to hit that bond 10. There is actually a decent amount of really strong servants that you'll be able to use during this event. Altera just got her buff, so her getting the extra power mod at NP1 means that you can use her as a very effective buster farmer. Artoria, if you have her, even better to be using for buster farming with her immense damage. She'll pretty much be able to clear most things in this event, especially if you start having her at higher NP copies like NP2 or 3. Vitra and Da Vinci Rider are also very phenomenal arts loopers if you want to go down that route. Summer Ishtar is okay as a quick looper, but she's definitely going to get a bit more out of this event with that 30% extra power mod, so that's also pretty nice. Nido Chris can actually start wave clearing here because normally you would use her as an insta-kill meme, but with a 30% power mod and a couple of extra NP copies, you actually might be able to use her for some decent farming during this event, and it's going to be really easy to use her with a over 100% battery if you do want to over invest for that. And she's actually kind of notable because the 90 plus does feature assassins and it's a 2-1-1. We'll talk about that more later, but having somebody with a massive battery might actually be really beneficial for that if you want to go down that route. And then having, you know, obviously Super Bunyan for, say, the CQ, or having Yang for the CQ as she's also getting a power mod bonus, you know, very strong single targets will be very nice going into that. So the event bonus servants are kind of nice, but let's talk about some of the goodies that we're going to be getting during this event. And the main one that you got to make sure you get during this event is the free-to-play CE cranking. Now, this is one that a lot of people have been talking about because this changes buster farming a little bit in the way that you'll see damage spreadsheets of, oh, this is how much this guy does normally, but this is how much they do with cranking. And you might have been wondering, well, why does that change anything? Is this one CE that good? And yeah, it is very, very strong. It's going to be giving you an 8% buster buff, start you off with 50% gauge, which again is super nice for pretty much any buster farming team comp, but most notably, it's an attack CE that also gives you 15% NP damage, which is absolutely massive for the Oberon system. Getting more NP damage that Oberon can then start to maximize with his third skill is absolutely massive. Now you might be asking, well, what about aerial drive? Is aerial drive not good anymore? And no, that's not entirely what I'm saying, but think about the values. They're both attack CEs. Aerial drive is giving you 10% buster and 10% NP damage, but cranking for the cost of 2% less buster gives you 5% more NP damage, which again is going to be net more buffs for your attack damage, but it's also really nice synergizing with Oberon. So it's very, very strong. Make sure you grab this. It'll make your life even easier, especially if you're more on the free-to-play side. And hey, you don't even have to summon for it. You just got to play the event. But then there's also the command codes that we're going to be getting for the event. There's Destructive Star, the 5-star Altera command code. That is going to be giving you 10% NP damage for one turn, and it's going to give you a 10% power mod against Sky attribute enemies when you use the engraved card. This can be kind of nice if, again, you're leaning more on the free-to-play side. If you can find this in other command codes that give similar effects, you start to load out your main farming servant with all 5 of these, you could pretty much reliably fire your command card first, then fire your NP on, say, the later nodes, which going into 90++ nodes, if you start building up this extra damage, it might allow you to actually push through it. So this is a very notable one. You do want to get it. It's very nice. And even if you throw it on one of your actual CQ servants, it's just nice to get extra damage. The 4-star command code is called Cheerful Companions, and it's going to remove an enemy's critical attack chance buff, and then it's going to also increase your own card crit damage by 10%. So throw this on any one of your crit damage servants and think, okay, you're getting a little bit of extra crit damage with the added bonus that you can remove buffs off of the enemy, which critical attack chance and critical attack buffs on the bosses are fairly common. I would say pretty much every boss fight at least has one of these two. It just feels like the most spammable thing that they actually get. And then finally, there is the 3-star command code Giant Blue Ox that gives whatever card you're using Pierce Defense, which isn't as crazy as, getting Pierce Defense on like a skill for 3 turns or getting it on an NP, but it is still nice. You can throw this on one of your servants. Again, it's a 3-star. It's not supposed to be the craziest thing, but it might help you out in, some challenge quests, getting around some more beefy enemies. I wouldn't think too hard on this one. Just throw it on a DPS that you're going to be bringing to different challenge quests. But now let's move into these summoning campaigns, of which I'm not going to be surprised if we get some bonus campaigns. If you saw any of the event bonus servants, expect that like any one of them could probably come out as well, because Lasengel loves throwing bonus banners at us in the middle of these events that we did not get on the JP side of things. But we do know that we're going to be getting the Mary Anning Friend Point campaign. She is limited, so even if you're not going to go super hard on the Friend Point gacha, trying to, get all the servant coins, at least make sure you get your 5 copies. But also know that there are going to be 3 and 4-star Craft Essence EXP cards in the gacha as well. So if you want to level up something like Cranking that we're getting during this event, and you want to get that full 2000 attack buff, it is really good to go ahead and start doing pulls on this for the EXP cards as well. But the main campaign is going to be Super Bunyan and the Maid Mice over there, which both of these units, the mice are okay. They're not the craziest unit. They're not bad. Super Bunyan, in my opinion, is not great, but she's definitely not bad. She has a very decent kit. I just think maybe if they threw a taunt or something her way, that she would be a lot better, being able to build up the like stacks a lot more, because that's pretty much where most of her damage comes from. And you'll see in the damage charts and stuff that if she can get those stacks going, she can do a lot of damage. She can output really impressive numbers. It's just a matter of getting those brave chains and taking those hits to ensure that you're actually building up those stacks consistently. But her kit is decent enough. If you do end up pulling for her, she's not bad. I would say she's painfully average, kind of middle of the pack, like B+ tier servant. There is also a really good 5-star CE on this banner that ignores invincibility, gives you crit damage and NP gain both at 15% values. That's actually not all that bad. So if you do go on this banner and you are able to pull that CE, it's not half bad if you want to bring that going into, CQs and challenge quests and stuff. The 4-star is also not bad if you don't have anything else, getting the Buster NP damage and the NP overcharge, which can be nice, especially if you don't have, Demonic Bodhisattva, the Kiara CE, the Amakusa Shiro CE. If you don't have those to give you overcharge, this can be a nice substitute for, some FGO esports gaming. The event also does have a point ladder. I don't really have a whole lot of notes for this one. Just wanted to show, hey, there's some nice rewards in here. You got some tickets, some prisms, some QP, which is also nice, some apples. So if you're still reeling from the lotto, and especially also the raids that we had in December, this can be nice to get a couple of those back. Make sure you're using at least your daily AP to kind of keep pushing through the event to make sure that you get all these rewards, because it also does feature 2 lures, and it does have a copy of Cranking in there. You at least want to make sure you get that, because that is very, very nice. But I guess speaking of playing the event, all of the free quests, as per usual, are all 333 nodes. You can go through all of them and farm at your leisure, but if you want to be super efficient and get all 3 of the drops, the pickaxes, the hammers, the shovels, the bronze, silver, and gold, you know, different drops and whatnot for the event shop, you're going to want to hit the 90 plus node. And the 90 plus node, this one's a little annoying. Not as bad as Sea Monsters Crisis. I know a lot of players were kind of upset that the first enemy was like 187k. So before, if you were doing buster looping, you didn't have time to loop your skills back. And so it could be a little inconsistent for the wave one. I mean, even my own Morgan, you know, bless her heart, did have to find one of her face cards to actually finish that dude off. So even Super Morgan over here at NP5 and almost 120, she's getting there, was even struggling with that one. This one, again, if you're buster farming, shouldn't be too bad. You start off very low, then you build up to 163k, and then you have a 207k enemy. Shouldn't be that hard to get through if you're doing buster farming. The final enemy is Steno, so if you have, say, a Mao Nobu, or you're doing an art setup with like double Castoria, plugging in like a Nero Bride to get that Sky Attribute power mod, you know, something along those lines. Steno does have that. She's Sky Attribute. She's chaotic good. She's also divine. And she's female, which I don't know if you're going to be using someone like Jack to try to take her out, but there might be one mad lad who is like, nah, I'm going to make this one work. I'm going to use Jack to take these guys out. And, you know, more power to you. You know, use whatever servants you want, but those are some of her weaknesses, you know, the power mods that you can use to try to beat her up. The second enemy is a demon, so also Sky Attribute, and has the traits Demon and Demonic. So if you're rocking those power mods, say you have more of like an NP1 free-to-play style box, try to take advantage of that. But now moving into the last and probably main part of the event, and that is going to be the excavation mini lotto thing in here. Which, as you saw when we were talking about the free quest, you'll be going through the event. You know, you'll get like shovels, hammers, pickaxes, whatever have you. You'll bring those over here. You'll mine and get these random rewards. And it's pretty nice. As you can see, you can get QP from the hammer. You can get, you know, proofs. You can get bones. You can get bullets. You can get fangs. Just really good things are locked in here. And you can kind of control which type of nodes you want to go on. As you can see, some of them cost 10, some of them cost 20, some of them are 30, and you can see they have little different associated images. So if you're ever concerned, you're like, oh man, which one was the proofs on? Well, it's going to be in the one that has the sword, opposed to the gold crack thing, which I guess kind of makes sense because, you know, hero proofs, there's a sword in there. I guess that kind of makes some type of sense, but for some reason, the dragon fang is not in the one that has a little dragon tooth looking thing. So maybe they don't all make 100% sense. It can be a little bit weird. I mean, the seashells are not on the one on the beach, which I think would make the most sense. I have no idea why they did it that way, but you can always come back to the wiki, look at this guide, and you can kind of tell, okay, this is what's going to be in each and every one of these things. And it's nice because you get extra resources as you play through the event. You know, aside from the point ladder, aside from the event shop, you know, you also have these excavations over here to make this a really good event. You know, like I was saying towards the beginning, you know, even if you're not super hyped for the mice, you know, you don't care about Mary Ann, you don't care about Super Bunyan, you think they're all mid. That's fine, you know, you can believe that. But the event itself is good. It is not a bad event. It starts this chain of events that we're going to be getting pretty much for the rest of the year, where each event has a bonus gimmick attached to it, which makes each of them way more worth farming. You know, summer has, you know, us building a theme park. The dog event has, you know, you sending dogs out to get you extra resources. The tea event is a mini lotto in and of itself. It's a really, really nice year for just good events. Unfortunately, it kind of seems like they stopped doing that for whatever reason. Lasengo, bring back these bonus gimmicks. It made these events way better. And it also kind of gave you a reason to log back in the game to kind of check on, okay, how is my amusement park doing? Let me collect my rewards. You know, just extra little incentives to log in. So make sure you stock up on your resources, you get your QP, your mats, all that good stuff, because we have Trom dropping in a little bit after this, and if you're going to be summoning for Charlemagne, you're going to be summoning for Moriarty, Don Quixote, Kriemhild, whoever, you're going to want to make sure you got the QP and the mats to get them leveled and ascended, skilled up, all that good stuff. So make sure you hit this event. It's a great way to get a bunch of resources. But I've been yapping for too long. My voice is starting to hurt. So I'm going to go ahead and get out of here. You guys have yourselves a nice day. Enjoy the event when it drops. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. And I'm gone. Peace late, guys.